Justice doesn't always arrive with fanfare. Sometimes it slips in quietly, almost unnoticed, like a whisper in the night. For some, justice is a moment of triumph. For others, it's a long, uncertain wait, filled with questions that echo through the years. Sometimes it's a quiet answer, decades in the making. The passage of time can make hope feel distant, but it never truly disappears. In the stillness of empty offices and the relentless ticking of the clock, the search for truth continues. For over 40 years, Robyn Ranger's murder was a ghost story. An unsolved case, a wound left open. Her name lingered in the halls of the police station. Her story whispered among those who remembered. The evidence sat untouched, gathering dust as the world changed around it. The world moved on, but her family and community never found peace. Every birthday, every anniversary was a reminder of what was lost. The pain of not knowing haunted them, a shadow that never faded. Then, a new generation of detectives and advances in forensic science reignited the investigation. With fresh eyes and new technologies, they began to see what others had missed. DNA analysis, digital records, and modern techniques offered hope where there had been none. Robyn's case, once cold and forgotten, was suddenly back in the spotlight. The media returned, questions resurfaced, and the community watched with cautious optimism. The silence was finally being broken. This isn't just about one case. It's a promise that no victim is ever truly forgotten. Every effort, every breakthrough is a message to families everywhere. Your loved ones matter, and their stories deserve to be heard. The reopening of her case brings hope to countless families still waiting for answers. It's a reminder that even after decades, there is always a chance for justice, for closure, and for healing to begin. Time can bury evidence, but it can't always bury the truth. Sometimes all it takes is one new clue, one determined investigator to bring the past into the light. Now, the silence around Robyn's final moments is being challenged by evidence, not speculation. The facts are speaking louder than rumors ever could, and the truth is finally within reach. The question is no longer if we'll find answers, but what those answers will reveal after 4 decades of waiting. As the sun rises on a new day, hope returns, not just for Robyn, but for everyone still searching for justice. To grasp the weight of this case, you need to know who Robyn Ranger was. She was a vibrant 21-year-old in 1980, full of dreams and potential. Robyn was a daughter, a friend, and a young woman with her own plans for the future. Her life was cut short, leaving behind a legacy of what-ifs and a void that time couldn't fill. While the world celebrated cultural milestones, her murder became a chilling local headline. As the investigation stalled, her identity became overshadowed by the crime. For decades, the story was frozen, a smiling face in a black and white photo, her face unanswered questions. For her family and the original investigators, the lack of resolution was constant. Bringing the story back into the light about restoring her identity and honoring the life she was meant to live. How does a 40-year-old case come back to life? It starts with a detective pulling a forgotten file from the shelf. Robyn's case meant sifting through thousands of pages, every interview, every note, every dead end. Investigators became archaeologists, searching for overlooked details and faded documents. It's slow, methodical work, respecting the past while questioning every assumption. Reopening a case is a massive commitment, signaling to families that they haven't been forgotten. For Robyn, it was a perfect storm, a passionate detective, a family's persistence, and new technology. The physical evidence preserved for decades became crucial. Items once considered dead ends, clothing, fibers, samples, are now treasure troves. The detectives of 1980 collected everything, hoping science would catch up. In 2025, that day has finally arrived, and the evidence is ready to speak. The real game changer is the evolution of forensic science. In 1980, DNA profiling was science fiction. Detectives relied on blood types and fingerprints, but they preserved evidence for the future. Today, even the tiniest trace reveals the full genetic profile. A single skin cell of hair can now identify a suspect in a search. This technology transforms cold cases, turning dead ends into new genes. Modern labs can amplify and repair decades-old DNA, piecing together the puzzle. For Robyn's case, this is the greatest asset. Science working in parallel with detective work. While investigators re-examine files, the lab serves as that critical genetic tool. With strong and intact memory, molecules past and present. The hope is that, in the next session, Robyn Ranger's killer will finally be revealed. While labs analyze evidence, detectives chase memories. The science is crucial, but it's only half the story. The other half unfolds in living rooms, kitchens, and quiet corners of the community, where people's recollections and emotions come to the surface. Detectives track down original witnesses. Now older, their lives changed, but their memories still valuable. These are people who may have moved on, started families, or even left the area, but the events of the past still linger in their minds. These interviews require empathy and patience, gently guiding people back in time. Detectives must build trust, showing genuine care and understanding, so witnesses feel comfortable sharing what they remember, even if it's painful or difficult. Sometimes a forgotten detail or a change of heart brings a breakthrough. A single word, a fleeting memory, or a new perspective can open doors that have been closed for decades. A witness who was silent in 1980 may now feel safe to speak. Time can heal wounds, and changing circumstances can give people the courage to finally tell their story. Detectives look for that one person holding a missing piece of the puzzle, perhaps unknowingly. They sift through old files, cross-reference statements, and revisit leads that once seemed insignificant. This human element grounds the investigation, reminding us that behind the science are real people and stories. Every photograph, every file represents a life touched by the case. Re-interviewing witnesses also signals to the community that the case is active and Robyn is not forgotten. It shows that justice is still being pursued no matter how much time has passed. Community support can encourage others to come forward. When people see their neighbors cooperating, they may feel inspired to share what they know, even if it's just a small detail. It's the blend of high-tech lab work and old-fashioned detective work that gives a cold case its best shot. Technology can reveal new clues, but it's the human touch that brings those clues to life. Every conversation, every memory could be the key. Even the smallest recollection can spark a new line of inquiry or confirm a long-held suspicion. The pursuit of justice is as much about people as it is about evidence. In the end, it's the human connections between detectives, witnesses, and the community that keep hope alive and drive the search for answers. Solving a decades-old murder needs a roadmap, and the Robyn Lawrence case provides one. In 1994, Robyn Lawrence was killed in her home. Her case went cold for nearly 30 years. DNA evidence sat in a database waiting for a match that never came. In 2019, investigators tried forensic genealogy, partnering with nanolabs. By building a family tree from distant relatives' DNA, they identified Stephen Smirk, a suspect never on their radar. Smirk confessed and pleaded guilty, finally bringing closure to the Lawrence family. This case proves that preserved DNA and forensic genealogy can solve even the coldest cases. It's a blueprint for Robyn Ranger's investigation. Even with no suspects and no database hits, science and persistence can point to a killer. Forensic genealogy is a fusion of science and detective. Investigators upload unidentified DNA to public genealogy sites, searching for distant relatives. Genealogists build massive family trees, tracing connections through public records. The goal narrows millions down to a single family, then a single individual. It's meticulous, time-consuming, and powerful, turning every genealogy user into a potential witness. This is how they found Smirk, and it's the hope for Robyn's case. The technology gives a voice to victims once considered lost in time. It raises questions about privacy, but for law enforcement, it's invaluable. For those who thought they got away, the net is closing in from a direction they never expected. No investigation happens in vacuum. It's fueled by community. For 40 years, Robyn's memory lived on in the hearts of those who knew her. Friends and family kept her story alive, marking anniversaries and sharing memories. This collective memory keeps pressure on the case and ensures Robyn is never just a suspect. Community vigilance helps detectives locate witnesses and recall crucial details. Every conversation is a potential breakthrough. The case needs to support victory for all. What does justice mean when it arrives 45 years late? For decades, families wait in the shadow of unanswered years of waiting, the persistence through disappointment are finally met with answers. Solving Robyn's case is about more than closing a file. It's about restoring balance after senseless violence.